It is now a pleasure to introduce my friend, Troy Torrence, whose presentation tonight is titled The Science Behind Yoga Nidra and Why You Should Try It. Troy is the health management specialist for the Indiana State Police Training Division. He holds a Master's of Science degree in exercise physiology from Wisconsin La Crosse and has been with the state police for more than 23 years. Troy works with ISP CrossFit, an integrated approach to fitness that builds strength and increased endurance with high-intensity workouts adaptable to any level of conditioning. Rather than working muscles in isolation, CrossFit exercises involve the entire body, a method that gets balanced results much quicker than traditional programs, which separate the weight room from the aerobics studio. Troy is frequently a presenter at regional and national conferences on health, wellness, fitness, and self-care for police, fire, and other public safety personnel. His presentations include the 2021 Global First Responder Resilience Summit and the October 2023 Coptimizer podcast. Troy incorporates mindfulness-based practices and other cutting-edge research-based training and practices into the training of new recruits and other Indiana State Police personnel. Troy, thank you for presenting with us tonight. We look forward to your presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie and Robert and everybody on the call and whoever may be watching this after on the recording. I'm going to cover a little bit on Yoga Nidra. I've done a little bit before, and if I have time, we may run us through a 10-minute short Yoga Nidra. I've kind of fallen in love with this. It's a type of meditation, but it's one that I use frequently at the academy when I have some downtime, maybe after lunch, to not necessarily nap. I do and can take naps, but I've kind of noticed some good benefits out of this to kind of rejuvenate and re-energize myself, maybe between tough day trying to transition while training at the academy. So what is Yoga Nidra? It's also considered a conscious sleep. It is a form of restorative meditation. So it is a version of meditation. It can restore the body and mind and is ideal for sleep deprivation. So this can work for my law enforcement and my fire and some of my military personnel that have trouble sleeping or on some shift work. It is a tantric meditation practice that includes brainwave patterns associated with the rest and digest. Attention is focused on the breath and guided through the body, activating a state of effortless non-doing, which I really love. It is commonly practiced lying down, but can be done seated. So even if we're seated, sometimes we may not be able to lay down. And meditators may actually fall asleep. I usually set my watch to verify that I wake up because I may go right through that 12-minute Yoga Nidra. But then also it allows you to defocus and let your attention ebb and flow naturally. So it's not one that you have to focus greatly on. To go a bit deeper, Yoga Nidra, also known as yogic sleep, is simplified from an ancient tantric relaxation technique. The most general description of the practice is that it combines guided mental imagery with a specific yoga posture called Shavasana, or the corpse pose, the one I really love when Katie does this at our academy. So we get to just Shavasana. The goal of Yoga Nidra is not to promote a profound state of relaxation. It is to promote a profound state of relaxation, which differs from sleep because there is still awareness of one's surroundings. While several components of the practice have been known since ancient times, it was not until the 1960s that an updated and systemized system of practice was introduced to the public through the writings of Swami Satyananda Saraswati. Unlike other schools of yoga, which emphasize concentration or contemplation, Yoga Nidra's goal is complete relaxation. As such, it advocates claim that is suitable for all individuals, from beginners to advanced practitioners of yoga. The calm inner stillness introduced by Yoga Nidra is claimed by practitioners to be an effective stress management tool, as well as a means for attaining greater receptive to personal resolutions. These resolutions can range from a goal of achieving self-transformation, enhancing creativity, improving one's learning ability. Additionally, Yoga Nidra is claimed to promote beneficial changes in physiological and mental health. Clinical studies have shown that Yoga Nidra meditation is associated with positive physiological changes, including improvements in several hematological variables, as in red blood cell counts, blood glucose levels, and hormonal statuses. 2 neuroimaging studies have shown that Yoga Nidra produces changes in endogenous dopamine release and cerebral blood flow, a further confirmation that it affects the central nervous systems are objectively measured. The practice has also been shown to reduce psychometrically measured indices of mild depression and anxiety, although these benefits were not shown in experimental studies to extend to severe depression or severe anxiety. So this is one that could help with some minor anxious or anxiety. Practitioners of Yoga Nidra may appear to be asleep, but their consciousness is operating at a deep level of awareness. This level of consciousness is accompanied by a profound sense of relaxation. The connection with the environment is never fully lost with Yoga Nidra. It is just that the arousal-producing effects are reduced. The deeper layers of mental activity become more accessible to the practitioners with prolonged practice. Yoga Nidra bears some resemblance to sleep because in both states, there is a disconnection from the arousal-promoting effects of the environment, a decrease in sympathetic nervous system activity, i.e. a reduction in your stress response, and a manifestation of dreamlike visual experiences. It is claimed that during the deep state of relaxation that Yoga Nidra induces, an awareness of one's surroundings is increased, and that repetitively in learning abilities are enhanced, receptivity and learning abilities are enhanced. Practicing Yoga Nidra is usually practiced for about 30 minutes to an hour at a time. During the deepest part of the state, which is considered qualitatively different from ordinarily waking consciousness, practitioners are thought to be realigned with the most spiritual part of their inner nature. Practitioners of Yoga Nidra claim, however, that it is not a substitute for sleep, but that its benefits go far beyond that of relaxation. It is further claimed that 1 hour of Yoga Nidra practice equates to about 4 hours of sleep. The Huberman Lab podcast has had some talks on this, and it's also verified some of that information from the 1 hour or even a half hour can gain you up to a little bit more of REM sleep or giving you that recovery. And that's why Dr. Huberman calls it non-sleep deep rest. This has also led to the suggestion that Yoga Nidra is a third mental state related to both sleep and relaxation, but still possessing properties that make it unique. It is asserted that Yoga Nidra is qualitatively different from normal relaxation because many of the ongoing mental preoccupations of daily life are thrown off, even though awareness of the environment remains intact. Additionally, however, it is thought that Yoga Nidra is also different from sleep, since in ordinary sleep, one's mental tensions cannot always be resolved. It is claimed further that with time, the practice can produce a major transformation of the self, one that extends to the promotion of physical, emotional, spiritual health, and well-being. Let's get to some of the principles of Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra's practice involves a specific set of steps, similar to some guided meditations. Initially quite deliberate, but becoming more natural and automatic with time and experience. These steps involve preparation for the practice, then the presentation of oneself of a personal resolution or commitment to later action, or a sankapra, followed by the directing of awareness to various body parts, then breath awareness, recall of various feelings and sensations, mental visualizations, a reinstatement of personal resolution or intention, and then an ending of the practice session. So how does Yoga Nidra differ from meditation? Yoga Nidra involves slowing down and chilling out, which I do love. So does meditation. While some people tend to lump them together, they are really two different processes. Yoga Nidra is like meditation, but yet it is not, says a yoga therapist and yoga program manager, Judy Barr. There are overlaps, but there are also key differences with Yoga Nidra. You are lying down, and you may be seated too, like we will do tonight. And the goal is to move into a deep state of conscious awareness sleep, which is a deeper state of relaxation with awareness. This state involves moving from consciousness while awake to dreaming, and then to not dreaming while remaining awake. Going past the unconscious to the conscious. Barr says that the practice is guided like some meditation practices, but is also very structured. With meditation, you're sitting and in a waking state of consciousness while focusing the mind and allowing thoughts to come and go. Meditation makes it possible for us to get to the theta state, the state where we go through to get to the delta state, which is a place of the deepest sleep cycle. The delta state is a deep healing state. That's where we're trying to get through with Yoga Nidra. In this state, the body and mind rest and the consciousness is awake. So some benefits of Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra works with the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, obviously, as we know, regulates processes of the body to take place without conscious effort: heartbeat, breathing, digestion, and blood flow. This system also includes the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. Meditations help us calm down the sympathetic nervous system, mainly our fight or flight response. We do a meditation practice to basically calm the sympathetic or fight and flight and activate the parasympathetic more. There's such a benefit when those are balanced overall for immunity, digestion, stress management. But in this deeper relaxation, the pineal gland is activated, and that releases the hormone melatonin. Melatonin is a powerful antioxidant. It can also help manage immune function, blood pressure, cortisol levels, and induce restful sleep. So I'll give you 10 steps for some basic Yoga Nidra practice. So some yoga studios do offer Yoga Nidra, but you can also do that from help with YouTube or the meditation app like Insight Timer, which I use. You don't need a fancy equipment either. You can lie flat on your back or on a yoga mat or on a blanket with a bolster or a pillow supporting your lower back, your spine, and your head. You can even put a blanket or a pillow under your knees. There are 10 stages of Yoga Nidra practice, and these steps are outlined by Richard Miller in his 10 stages of Yoga Nidra. First step is connecting to your heart's deepest desire. Focus on the long life goal or something that relates to your health. Visualize reaching this goal and feel the joy that comes with accomplishing it. Number 2, set an intention or your sankalpa. Think about why you are practicing. To get centered, to put your self-care on the schedule, whatever the reason, keep it at the forefront of your Yoga Nidra practice. Number 3, find your inner resource. This involves tapping into a safe space within the body so that you can feel secure, and at least while you practice. Number 4, scan your body. During a body scan, you'll be asked to focus on certain parts or sensations throughout your body. The goal of this is to help reduce tension so you can relax. Number 5, become aware of your breath. Paying attention to how air is flowing in and out of your body. Take note of how it comes in your nostrils and how your abdomen rises and falls. This can help you slow down and breathe evenly. 6, welcome your feelings. If you had a rough day, embrace it. You don't have to ignore the tough stuff, but in recognition or recognizing it, you can also think about the opposite of whatever emotion you are feeling to help balance things out. 7, witness your thoughts. Similar to step 6, you want to observe your thoughts in a moment without judging or trying to block them out. Should any negative thoughts about yourself surface, think about the positive side of things to ease tension. 8, experience joy. If you start to feel blissed out, embrace it and let it wrap around your body. Number 9, observe yourself. Be aware of your personality and how you might be feeling. In other words, your sense of I-ness. Then consider yourself an observing witness. This will help you wake up more aware and in tune with your feelings. And number 10, reflect on your practice. When you finish, think about how you feel and what you are able to tap into during your session. Then think about how you can bring the peace or joy you might be feeling into daily life, whether times are good or bad. Don't rush out of your practice. Take a few minutes to transition back into the waking state of life. So don't just wake up, jump and go. Unless your alarm wakes you up like me and freaks you out, that might startle you a bit. So I have a vibrating watch so it doesn't go like, bah, bah. So slowly come out of that wakeful state. So to end it all, why should we try Yoga Nidra? 1, this may reduce basic stress and anxiety for some of us from a low state. It's just something that you may be able to do at any time of the day, just like in meditation. You may feel tired, and it may be something that you can get a little bit of rest. Again, this may help you recover from some sleep deprivation by giving your body a chance to rest and your mind a chance to rest a little bit. So again, due to studies, if you get about an hour's worth of Yoga Nidra, you'll equal about 4 hours of sleep. So if we did a half hour, you're getting about 2. Do that 15 minutes, you're probably getting close to an hour. It may also help you if you're not a good napper. I know some of us on here don't nap well. This may be a perfect thing to keep you in that wakeful state, so you're not just crashing and napping and then waking up tired. So this one can and may help some of my individuals that may not be able to nap well. It's just another opportunity. And just another tool in the toolbox, as my lieutenant would say at the academy. It's just another tool to try and to help us learn about our mind and our body. So I'll open it up if anyone has any questions. If not, or if we do, we can answer them. If not, I've got a little time to run a short Yoga Nidra. What do you think?
Yoga Nidra.
You like the first yoga, then Nidra. Yes.
Great presentation, though. Thank you for all of that information. But yeah, I think a practice would be amazing.
Awesome.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Not now.
not now.
So I've got plenty of time. I've got my clock on my left at 11 minutes. I'm hoping I can hit this at 10. But what we will do is I will go on a small script and we'll try to do a short 10-minute Yoga Nidra. Hopefully my pauses get me in there and I may speed up in there. But this will give us a little idea of a Yoga Nidra. So for preparation, getting ready for Yoga Nidra. Obviously, this may not work for most of us. We can lie down as comfortably as possible in Shavasana, which would be awesome, or let your body sink to the floor, or like most of us, just sit in a chair and find that comfortable position. Get comfortable. Make any adjustments if you wish at this point. Take your feet wider than your hips. Allow your feet to flop to their sides, roll out if you're leaning back. Palms a little bit away from your hips, allowing your arms to breathe. Make sure you are warm enough to take a position that would be comfortable for the entire duration of this practice. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your hips, your back, your knees, your ankles. Lift or turn your head a couple of times to release any tight spots from the back of your neck. Allow your eyes to close and keep them closed for the entire duration of the practice, or soften your gaze if that is more comfortable. If you feel any tension or tight spots in any part of your body, Take your awareness to that body part and consciously relax that part. It is best that you remain still during the practice of Yoga Nidra. However, if you become uncomfortable, please feel free to make changes with very minimal movement. You may tap each pad of your finger to your thumb or just open your eyes if anything becomes uncomfortable. It is natural to flow in and out of consciousness, hearing during this practice. Understand that whatever you experience is today is the experience meant for you. There is no way to do this wrong. Know that you are in a safe environment and protected space. Stay awake by listening to the sound of my voice. If your mind starts to wander, which is natural, just come back to the sound of my voice. Now say to yourself, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am awake, and I will remain awake until the end of this practice. And I will come out of the practice when I am asked to do so. The practice of Yoga Nidra begins now. Be aware of any sounds you can hear in this moment. Nothing else but what you can hear without straining your ears. Start by focusing on the most distant sounds. Move your attention from sound to sound without labeling the source. Now move your awareness to sounds within this room, to the sound of your breath, to the sound of your breath flowing freely between your nostrils. Now visualize yourself within this room. Visualize the four walls of this room without opening your eyes. The ceiling, the floor, the walls. Visualize your position in the room, your body lying on the mat or sitting in your chair. The parts of your body touching the mat or your chair, your clothes, your hair, your face, your entire body lying or sitting. Become aware of your natural breath. Become aware of your natural and spontaneous breath that moves in and out of your body without any effort. The natural breath flows in through both nostrils. Notice the feeling of the breath as it comes in and out of your nostrils. It is now time for you to make a sankapra, or intention. This intention, which should be short, clear, positive, and in the present tense. Like, I cope easy with stress in my life, as opposed to, I will cope with stress in my life. Repeat your sankapra 3 times to yourself, mentally, clearly, and with focus. We will now begin a systematic journey of awareness throughout the body. You will move your awareness to different parts of your body as soon as you hear them named. We will begin with the right side, the right arm, the right shoulder, the right side of a chest, the right side of our waist, the whole of right leg. Moving to the left side, the left arm, left shoulder, left side of chest, left side of waist, whole left leg. Now go to the back of the body, the back of your feet, back of your legs, lower back, middle back, upper back, back of shoulders, back of neck, back of head. Awareness to the front side of the body, top of the head, whole face, throat, neck, collarbones, chest, abdomen, navel, pelvic floor, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body. Become aware of your breath now. Feel the flow of your natural breath in and out of your nostrils. The breathing is normal and spontaneous without any effort. Maintaining awareness of your breath, continue to breathe normally through the belly. With every inhalation, the abdomen is expanding. With every exhale, the navel is drawn in towards the spine. Now, as you breathe in, mentally say the number 9 in your head. As you breathe out, mentally repeat 9 to yourself. Breathe in, say 8 to yourself. As you breathe out, repeat 8 to yourself. Continue counting backwards from 9 to 1 with every inhale and exhale. If you lose track of the count midway, then begin from 9 again. Gradually come back to the feeling of your breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Maintaining your awareness of your breath, become aware of your physical body. Your body is relaxed and sitting in your chair. Feel the different parts of your body sitting in the chair, and take your awareness into all points that are touching the floor or the chair. The back of your heels, your thighs, the back, shoulder blades, arms, hands, and head. Shift your attention to the sounds within this room, the sounds of your breath, the sounds of your mat or chair, or the sounds of my voice. Now move your attention to the sounds outside this room, sounds you can hear without strain. Move your awareness back to the room, inside, and visualize the room. Imagine where you are in the room and the other objects that are around you. Sit quietly until you feel ready to move. Start by slowly moving your hands and feet. Take your time, there is no hurry. When you are sure that you are fully awake, bend your knees, turn to the side, over to the other side, and spend a few moments here revisiting your practice. Feeling safe, secure, calm, and peaceful. Use your left hand to press yourself up off your chair if you need to, and to move and sit up in a comfortable posture. Seated stillness for a couple minutes. Take a deep inhalation and a good exhalation out completely. Bring your palms to your heart center and rub your palms together. Like this one from Sandy. Transfer that warmth from your palms to your eyes. Rub your palms one more time, generating heat. Place those palms at any part of your body that may need comfort or healing. And then bring your hands or your palms in front of your eyes and open your eyes and look at your palms and blink your eyes open. Thank you for the practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Hopefully, nobody fell asleep.
I think we've got most people. Thank you so much, Troy. We invite any questions and observations around the presentation and or the Yoga Nidra experience. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share?
My question is this something that is, and it doesn't seem to me that it is, maybe it's just because I'm so new to it, but that could be self-guided. Can you actually enter those states, being guided by yourself and get the benefit of it? Or is it really necessary to be listening to a recording or listening to a live guidance to get the benefits?
I think more of the benefits would be from the live, to make sure you're scripted to flow. The way they have produced Yoga Nidra is kind of that specific, guided from understanding your breath and then moving to a body scan, which we know in everything, and then kind of trying to follow the voice but not follow the voice, if that makes sense. One of the ladies I listened to, and I don't recall her name, on the Insight Timer, she mentions it, and I do the same thing. Is like your goal is not to pay attention, but is to listen. Because if you're paying attention, then you're too focused on everything, and you're trying to get into that middle stage. And the more and more I've gotten into it, I can actually feel like I'm out of it and I'm zoned out, but I'm awake, and then all of a sudden I'll come right back to it. I'm back and normally don't miss the my timer. But if I am tired, as I like to state in the beginning, you may fall asleep, and it will do that to me sometimes. Like I'm feeling good, I'm following her voice, I'm touching my fingers, I get down to my toes, I'm out. The next thing I do, I wake up, I'm like, oh wait, her voice is back. So guided would help, because if I'm guiding myself, I'm not that well a practitioner. But Robert, you've done it for a while, and John and Katie now, she may be able to do it, but may be rough.
There are I think some scientific stuff or some studies that have been done really on doing Yoga Nidra with the sound of your own voice in meditation. So like Troy, so using those kinds of recording apps on your phone and just reading a script and then playing it back to yourself, so you don't even need an app or anything.
Yep, that'd be a great idea. There's free scripts everywhere. This one I just pulled off the internet and made a few changes to it, and they're all pretty much the same, the ones I've listened to. So it's just a small guided, kind of getting you just to relax, just to really get yourself comfortable and kind of ease into it. And they tell you to pause if needed. If I paused, I probably would fall asleep. So I'm like, I want to keep going and get started. So great questions.
I have a question, if you can hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay. how would you structure this practice if your concern is your sleep, like the quality of your sleep? If you don't feel restored, even though you've gotten enough sleep, um, is this something that would help? Would you want to do it close to bedtime or not close to bedtime?
For me, for those just trying it, I would not put it near bedtime unless you want to go to sleep. If you have trouble falling asleep, this may be one that would work to get some people to slowly guide themselves and then just crash. Me, normally I'm middle of the day, noon to 3, like I'm on a regular shift, 8 to 4:30, but that middle of the day seems to help just because I know I've napped later in the evening and then stare at the ceiling trying to count everything under the sun and can't fall asleep. So for me, it was trial and error. For most, I think if you can do it prior to probably 3 o'clock, it may help you. If you're on a regular day, if you're on night shift, it'd be a little different, which I'm trying to get some of my guys that just went to 12s when they get the shorter sleep cycle and then they may nap before they go to work, try yoga nidra and set an alarm so they might be able to guide them down to sleep rather than just lay in the bed and trying to fall asleep, where they actually have something, earbuds in, can guide them, set a watch. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. So that would be the intention that we would set and try to teach them, as Katie does and as we all do, is you try to create that intention. And what is my intention? My intention is to rest, down regulate, and then you're setting that intention each day. That may help by setting that I'm doing this because I'm safe, secure, and I want to recover. So that may help preempting that person day in and day out or a couple days a week to help. And I notice it just, I can do it right before I go work out for 10 minutes. I do a short one. There's an 11-minute yoga nidra and I hit that one right after lunch. I'm like, oh, we're going to work out. I'll be down in about 20 minutes and I'll lay down and I may not hear any of it. I may hear some of it. And I slowly come up. I'm like, man, I feel great. But it's something that has worked for me. May not work for everyone, but it's kind of my ritual. If I don't get it, I'm like, oh, I'm bummed I didn't get my yoga nidra today, which I didn't today because I work busy. So
That's what I was going to ask. You try to do this every day?
I try if I can. If even when I'm home, like tomorrow, the next 2 days, I will purposely set right around lunchtime, at least a half hour or 20 minutes. I'll do a 20-minute practice, but I'll set a watch for 45 minutes. If I wake up and I get to right at the very end, like, and come back, I'll wake up. If I sleep, then my body's telling me I need rest. And that's the other part. So if you have the time and you can nap longer, like that sleep cycle of, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, take it. But I will set a watch just in case I have to get up. I've never had it where I'm like, oh, I'm sleep for 4 hours. But I kind of already set a mental picture. Don't fall asleep forever prior to going in on my intention. So, but yes, I'm doing regular meditation. And then I also try to throw yoga nidra in 3 to 4 days a week for me right now to up my practice. So good question, Katie. Anyone else?
I really like Katie's idea of recording your own voice. If you go find the script you want or whatever, and just use the recorder on your phone, I think that's a really neat idea. So
I know I'm going to have to borrow that one. I have a great one I love listening to, but I think even getting somebody else to read it at times, because there's some voices that you will find. And I know with, the mindful junkie that we had on about a year ago, Virginia White, she really talked about the same thing. There are some voices you just do not gel with. You'll put it on, you're like, I can't listen to it. Or you're so into them that you can't focus on what you're trying to do within that meditation. So maybe your own voice, unless you hate your own voice, which I know when I listen to my recordings, I'm like, oh, that's me. So understanding that. Yes.
Another, factor too is if somebody else is recording it and like you said, you're trying not to fall. Sometimes on those apps, people have like this Australian, really sleepy voice and you're trying not to fall asleep. And so, you can record it a little more firmly.
Yep. Great idea. It's a great idea.
And that's actually something that's good for pretty much any meditation that you find, that just that kind of sound, it just gels with your own body. I mean, it of course it would, it's your voice.
Yep.
Another question. So what have you noticed? I mean, like in like, because I know you've been working with this for a while. So what are some of the changes from when you first started to now? Like what, like, whether it becomes easier or if it
Yep.
changes on a daily basis, but are there some of the trends that you've noticed in your practice?
Yeah, it's been probably almost a year now that I've been doing it a couple days a week. It's in the beginning, it was just hard. I was just like, I have to focus on my, I'm tracking the body like I did early on these meditations of just, body scan. My mind is wandering. After I found one of them where it's like, she states, just go with it. And as most of these are in meditation, your mind's going to wander. Don't beat yourself up. It's just become easier for me and almost kind of like, oh God, I got to go do this. And I look forward to doing it. It's like, ooh, I've got a half hour, guys. I got to go upstairs. I'll be down in a half hour. And I literally and I bought an eye patch finally, but I was just putting a towel over my eyes, lay down, turn it on. And some days I'll get 5 words in and I'm out for a short amount, but I know my brain is listening and I'm kind of guided. I'm kind of dreaming, as they say. And then there's other days I'm totally into it and I'll hear the whole thing. Or some days I wake up right at the very end. You should now be waking up and blinking. I'm like, how does that work? So the mind, my clarity helps, especially in the middle of the day for me, because I may be running hard for 3 hours and I'm like, oh, it's time to eat. Now I got to do a whole nother project or I have a meeting. I'm able to just sit for even 5 minutes and may even get part of it. And it just helps me, similar to the straw breathing, similar to a body scan. But for some reason, the Yoga Nidra just kind of keeps me in that brainwave where I'm relaxed. So something neat. And I don't do it longer than 20 minutes. I haven't sat for an hour. I don't know what would happen if I turned it on for an hour. I haven't found one that long. I do 20 minutes to 20. I think 25 is the longest one I've done, and it's still good. So, Gary.
Thanks, Troy, for the practice and your comments as well. You know, I think anybody who's done yoga or yoga nidra, where you're doing shavasana or any lying down meditation, if you haven't fallen asleep, then you haven't done the practice long enough. You know, if you're buzzing and you're really energetic, you won't. But you said it perfectly. If the body is tired and needs sleep, it's going there. I liked what you just said, and I have this thing sitting on my lap. You put a towel over your face. These things are produced and sold probably at yoga, any place, Yoga Supply. This says Half Moon at some company, and I think it has buckwheat husks. And I put this thing over my face when I do lying down or any meditation of that sort of a thing. And it's amazing how much it just takes the light away. And it just shifts the whole experience to a very deep internal thing. And the other thing I wanted to mention, because I'm older, I have lower back problems, and some people, pillow under the knee for sure, and you offered that. But one of the teachers introduced me to what they call astronaut pose, which you could call it whatever you want, but it's basically where you put your legs up on a couch and you lay on the floor, so you're in that sort of a pattern with you laying down. And I find that to be a really helpful pose, especially if you have any issues. And I just wanted to share that. But I was doing a 40-minute practice this morning. That's why this is laying here. So thanks.
Yes, Gary. I just got the weighted eye mask that helps. I can actually open my eyes and blink if I needed to. And it's amazing. There's just a little bit of weight, like $9 online. And the other one, yes, the pose that Gary was talking about, I use for anybody with low back pain. So my troopers or anybody that tweaks their back, I literally put their legs at 90 degrees on a couch. And then every so often you just push your heels in to lift your glutes off or your butt off the floor, and then it flatten your back again. You just keep trying to flatten your lower back so it's not arched, because we have a tendency to extend the chest. And it is amazing how you'll just be relaxed more and more, because as you meditate, as you breathe, the low back will start to calm down. So especially, yes, as we age, it will get a little sore in the back. So great idea, Gary.
Do you add it to your schedule? Do you put it on your calendar? I don't think because I'm not much of a napper, and I'm usually like, until So it's hard for me to imagine kind of coming to that hard stop before the next thing unless it were on my calendar.
Now it's not really on my calendar. It's kind of like my lunch hour, because I'll take my lunch because I'm usually eating in the office because we're there with all the staff. And then I'm like, when are we working out, or vice versa? And it might be just like done with lunch. I'm like, hey, and I'll just say I'm going to the restroom, and I've got which is nice in the academy. I have my own dorm room, so I can just go up there, hit the bed in like 20 minutes, and I'm out. And I usually hit do not disturb on my phone, so somebody can't call me. So, but it has happened that my wife has called in and goes right through that one because she can go through the do not disturb. But yes, I don't have it per se on my calendar. I've been playing right now the last 2 weeks with Brain Beats, an app that's binaural beats and a lot of that stuff right now. And it reminds me at noon, but I don't really have time to do it at that specific time. But at least it reminds me, hey, I need to try something. So I've got a couple 5-minute ones and 10 minutes just to kind of playing with it. And that's been intriguing is all I can say. It's getting better when you're hearing the binaural beats. So a good set of your little earbuds and just zone out for 5 minutes. It's pretty interesting. So that might be another talk later down the road.
I hope so. Well, thank you so much for your presentation